Okay, we're back at Happy Space Travel. Now, getting back to our planetary motion habitat wheel, to reiterate, we have here a habitat wheel, and instead of rotating, going around like this, which might be at the speed would be determined on how big the diameter of the wheel is, and that's for another discussion. So anyway, so we're doing planetary motion, so this thing's going to revolve. It's not going to rotate. So what we have here is it's going to go more or less like this, and the speed would probably be about the same as it would have been if it had been rotating, but obviously it's hard to do a smooth motion with just my hand. But it's actually easier to do planetary motion with your hand, because it's like you're wiping the table with a dish rag, whereas if I were to try to rotate, that would be very difficult for me to do. So the point of this is not that I wanted it. I did not want this change in it at all. I would have preferred rotating, but in order to have the tunnel, which will move a bit like a crankshaft, or I should say a crank assembly. I don't want to make it sound like an automotive crankshaft, because that's a little bit more complicated. But like a crank handle, you may have seen drills or that sort of thing with a crank handle. But it's a tunnel, and then at the ends, as you saw in the other thing I was doing, for Create the Future, you can have the flexible bellows joints, and those can even be metal bellows, and you can turn it this way on each end, and then you have a hermetically sealed tunnel, and you have your habitat wheel going like this, and then you can run all your wires and your pipe plumbing through the crank tunnel, and also your data cables and that sort of thing. And so if you have one part of the station that's not rotating or not turning, not moving, it's more or less just going along. And then you have a part which is the habitat, and now it's going to be making an epicyclic motion, but still producing centrifugal force, as we showed before with the marble. So then you've got it made. I mean, because then you've got all your you've got your electricity, your power, your oxygen, all this linked to your main power block, and you're living up in the rim here somewhere, and you are the first kid on the block to have a planetary motion habitat wheel. So until next time, happy space travel from Bertha's, still here, believe it or not, and have a happy Halloween.